Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the Woke Bros. Of course, I'm your co-host, Big Wos, aka Wazzy Lambre, and I'm joined this time, man. My guy is out in Mexico City. Cuidad de Mex. Is that how they say it?
No, not at all. No, Ciudad de México.
Oh, there you go. Ciudad de Mexico. There you go. I was
Yeah,
close, wasn't I?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. You almost got it.
One of my favorite cities in the world, honestly. Just a dope spot. But yeah, Nando was on the road, but he joins us anyway. And yeah, man, we just wanted to get into a couple of things from the news on today's show. OPEC has joined in an agreement with the Russians to basically price gouge the shit out of everybody for their oil, which I find to be hilarious for several reasons that we'll get into. But first, man, the Hershel Walker and Warnock race out in Georgia is heating up and getting really spicy,
Yeah.
Nando. I just think that this race is at a deadlock, basically. Hershel Walker is the worst candidate possible. And the latest proof of this is that his son, one of his, illegitimate sons out there in Texas, has come out and renounced dude and was like, yeah, you
Well,
wanted us, you're a terrible father, you're a absentee dad, you've gotten
well,
abortions, you're a philanderer, a womanizer, all of these horrible things. And it's kind of just been a hilarious uproar, Nando.
well, this came out because there was a report. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, Herschel Walker was a running back in the NFL. He played for the Cowboys. I remember that was like that famous Jimmy Johnson trade where he traded like their entire draft for Herschel
Yep.
Walker. But he's from Georgia. He's a legend in Georgia. They love him in Georgia. And he's running for Senate against Raphael Warnock, which, if you remember, was the guy who won that special election to tie the Senate, basically 50-50 for the Dems.
Yep.
And it's up night because it was a special election. It was a short term, so he's up for re-election right now, and he's running against a former football player who's like one of the worst candidates like you could ever imagine. Like it's very unclear whether he could even read, the Daily Beast published an article last week that caused a bit of a storm, and there's nothing that causes a storm anymore. But this one was kind
people
of
just can't be scandalized. It's over.
no.
For
It's
scandal.
over. But they published, so Herschel Walker has campaigned on a sort of anti-abortion absolutism platform in which he's like, no abortion, no exceptions for rape, incest, or health of the mother. Said that those are just excuses, mother's gonna die, abortion could save her life. No, can't do that. And then it turns out that the Daily Beast got some receipts that he had paid for an abortion for his mistress. you know. And then it started coming out that he just had all these illegitimate children like all over the place.
Yeah.
As many as 4 with 4 different women. And his son, a guy named Christian Walker, who had been an early supporter and has emerged in the past couple of years as a gay black conservative influencer. He's young and good looking dude and charismatic on camera.
Little light skinned cat. I bet his mom is
blue
white.
eyes. Yeah, obviously 100%. We don't know that, but we're just guessing.
Seems like that would probably be the case. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's become kind of famous in conservative circles. Like they'll invite him to conferences and shit. And he's got all these followers on TikTok but he came out, he was like, my dad, he is Batman. He didn't take care of me, or he's got all these he's a hypocrite and all this shit. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, because Herschel Walker was like denied it. He's like, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah. That signature you seen on a card, he sent the card after the chick got the abortion. He's like, that ain't my signature. This is all fake. And his son's just like, yo, this dude's a bad dude. Of course he's paying for abortions. That's what he does. He's a philanderer. He's not some family values type of conservative. Like this he's a clown and he's a fraud. Like he's just a straight up fraud. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about this, Nando, is just like this can't even affect his candidacy, right? And it kind of shows you how fluky that special election runoff was, a year ago, because these guys, there's absolutely no reason why this guy should be running within 15, 16 points of Warnock. Like, there's just no reason for it. Like, it's not like he has some background of delivering amazing gains for some, constituent of Georgia, Georgian population, right? Like, it's not like he was some state senator or he was the mayor of some town or he was governor, where it was like, oh yeah, like this guy delivered results for people before. He's engendered some sort of loyalty. Yes, he played for UGA, I guess in the 80s. He played for UGA and was legitimately one of the greatest college football running backs of all time. He delivered that for Georgians. That level of, but he don't got a track record of doing nothing for people. He's not some successful businessman. He has nothing. He has nothing. All he has is these terrible gaffes publicly, and just a record of going against every single thing that he claims to be part of his policy flank. And it's all fraudulent, but yet he's still neck and neck with the Democratic Party's candidate.
Yeah. I mean, it shows just how how polarization has hardened over time. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it might matter like enough to tip the scales in the election by a very, very close margin. You know what I mean? Like it might turn off 50,000 people or something that might turn off in a state of millions. But that's the margins these days. It's like there's never going to be another blowout. There's never going to be another, and it doesn't matter who the candidate is. It's still going to be neck and neck no matter what. And what's been funny has been seeing all the conservative, thinkers, for lack of a better term, tie themselves into knots to keep supporting Herschel Walker. Like Eric Erickson, who's a very popular conservative, fucking
hate radio guy. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was like, people change over time. I'm sorry, he's evolved. This has happened 2 years ago. And then Dana Loesch, who's another talk radio host, popular talk radio host, goes, when in response to the story, she goes, if true, Walker paid for one broad's abortion compared to Warnock, who wants your tax dollars to pay for every broad's abortion.
Yeah, that's not even birth control.
Yeah, I wish it were true. But,
that's not even a thing. Like, that's not even on the table that the government would pay for abortion. That's not a thing. She just made that up.
Yeah, and she's like, this isn't a difficult choice, and conservatives shouldn't look to the left to validate their vote. And there's another guy who was like, if I had to choose between someone who murdered someone once but was against murder and someone who had never murdered anyone but was pro-murder, I'm choosing the murderer every time. And it's like, you guys are fucking tying yourselves into the funniest little pretzels. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, but my thing is, like, the abortion laws that have been passed since they overturned Roe v. Wade is some shit like where it's like the doctor, throw him in jail. The chick that's getting aborted, throw him in jail. Anybody who gave her a ride to the thing, throw him in jail. If you saw something and didn't say anything, throw him in jail. Like, okay, so like y'all are saying
Walker,
like
go to the Senate.
That's what I'm saying. It's insanity. That don't make any sense.
Yeah. That's good. But I mean, if he wins, it'll be Oh boy, like if you would have told me 20 years ago that Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz might be in the Senate together, voted in together.
It's insane. And the thing is too, You know what it also reminded me of was the homie in South Carolina who it came out at the end was like fucking girls that were like 12 or something
No,
crazy.
Alabama.
Alabama, excuse me, my
Roy
bad.
Moore.
I get my deep state, excuse me, my deep South confused sometimes. But Roy
Yeah.
Moore in Alabama, where it was like at the end, it was just like, yo, even in Alabama, one of the most red states in the union, we can't abide by that. Like this
Yeah.
is, come on, even we can't support that. And then in the next election, the Democratic guy got his ass tossed, right? Like got
Right.
kicked. This is just straight up like, no, there's nothing. This is nothing.
It
We're
goes to
just gonna
show
let it rock.
another thing that we talk about a lot, that celebrity is the best route to politics these days. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always been kind of true, but
Name
it's
rec.
just truer
Yep.
than ever. Yeah. Name recognition. Everyone in Georgia knows who Herschel Walker is, and that's
Yeah.
fine. That just gives you a huge leg up over like, some random, business guy or something that wants to run for Senate. I mean, that's what all the billionaires took the wrong lesson from Trump, and they were like, "Oh, I can run. I'm Howard Schultz, I can run.
Oh.
Mike Bloomberg, I can run. All these people. Yeah, you're not celebrities. You're not used to being in front of
Tommy
people.
Tuberville, another
Yeah,
SEC legend.
yeah,
He ran in Alabama, the state and you would think like, most of the people in that state are Crimson Tide fans, Roll Tide, and they voted in a goddamn Auburn Tiger.
yeah,
Shameful. Shame
yeah,
on y'all. But yeah, Tommy Tuberville, who was just saying the craziest shit in his
yeah.
campaign and basically like, I love Trump so much, I want to take everything he said and done even further. And he won. Again, a guy he's a celebrity in the state. He's as famous as you can get in a place like Alabama. Like he's just as famous as name any other sports figure in the world, in our world, in the
Right.
United States of America. In that place, Alabama,
Yeah.
he's got as much name recognition as anybody.
Yeah. And dude, it just made me think, like, I wonder, like, if the Democrats lose the Senate and the House, which is possible. I mean, it's even probably likely.
Yeah.
Like, Biden's gonna get impeached. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for his kid buying coke and his
Whatever.
kid like getting jobs he didn't deserve, and his
They're
kid.
just gonna keep impeaching him. Like, have you thought about that?
I really haven't. And again, and trust me, there ain't gonna be when the Republicans get the Senate back or whatever, ain't gonna be no Kristen Cinemas over there.
Right.
Ain't gonna be no Joe Manchin's talking about, no, we need the bipartisan and we can't just go so far. We can't do like nobody's doing that over there. That's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, John McCain, when he was fucking dying of terminal cancer, decided to step up to the plate. Like the dude was literally about to die. So he decided to step up to the plate in certain instances. Last time they had like, the power to actually move stuff and get stuff done. But that shit, that's not happening anymore. This shit is just rapidly becoming just more and more, like you said, polarized and partisan.
That's why we got to think of like who the best left celebrity we could get to run for office. Like, who do you think would be the guy that we need to like infiltrate?
Yeah, but the problem is like
who's got broad appeal?
that we're not making the same kind of celebrities anymore, right? Like we'd
Like
have
Tom
to get
Cruise. What do you think of Tom Cruise? If we radicalized him, he just had the Top Gun, and I mean he's got the Scientology weird thing.
No, we would need to take somebody who wasn't. I mean, Tom Cruise is tied to weirdness, but we would have to like get like Clint Eastwood to become a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd have to be something
McConaughey.
like. Right, there you go. It would have to be something like that. Somebody who wasn't always tied to Hollywood liberal annoyingness.
Totally. Yeah,
And
like
then
it can't
be
be
like-
Mark Ruffalo.
No, it can't be Mark Ruffalo. First of all, you ain't never been that famous. Second of
No,
all,
that's
like,
true.
like all you've ever done is be annoying about your politics in public.
You had to have been famous in the 90s.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Exactly.
You had
And
to
even
be
George
famous before the
Clooney,
internet.
because George Clooney be brow beating the shit out of people when he get on his soapbox. So it can't even be Clooney. It really do got to be like a Brad Pitt.
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brad
The
Pitt
Rock.
would be good.
Exactly. It's got to be somebody who was famous in the 90s, so it was like ubiquity, but never went into the annoying lib realm. Because like even Leo has been like, the environment and all of that.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, the left needs some type of celebrity. Because if Herschel Walker could just show up and just start winning shit,
that's hilarious. I mean,
he's
the thing is, what about Kanye too? I mean, because like, did you see when he came
nah
out with the
Kanye.
White
He's
Lives
out. He's
Matter?
out, and
What's
he
your
was standing.
reaction? What was
It's
your
just
reaction to the White Lives Matter?
it's just Kanye's been doing the same. He's been running the same playbook for 15 years now, where it's like do or say something extremely controversial to get a lot of attention and eyeballs on you right before you're trying to sell a product, whether that be a new clothing line, sneakers, fucking album, whatever it is. But this is the playbook. He's always trying to court controversy right before he's about to sell the public something. And so
Right.
this is just another, it's in the line of Kanye being fake controversial, and like that he's doing it next to Candace Owens, and it's just like it's so pathetic, but he still has like a cult, group of people who believe in his vision and the products he wants to push and all of that, who probably don't give a shit. Like nobody cares. Like people just have this accepted that Kanye is just like this crazy eccentric dude. I just can't bring myself to have the energy to feel anything about shit that Kanye does anymore. It's so contrived and he's so empty. It's just, like he's off his meds. God bless him. I wish him all the best, even as he's made hundreds of millions of dollars from his partnership with Adidas over the years. Like the
Yeah.
last, 10 years or so, basically 7 years, making 100+ millions. He's still deeply unhappy and is just like he's a kook essentially. So I can't get
Damn.
riled up by a
That was
fucking
that was deep.
insane person. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I can't get with Kanye. Anyway, let's move on to OPEC and Russia because I just find this funny. When it comes to geopolitics, right? The Saudis being the type of country that, you know, we can't lose our relationship with the Saudis. We got to sell them weapons. We got to side with them on everything involving Iran. We got to just be straight up the Saudis' ass no matter what. They can kill reporters. They can do whatever they want. And now, like, you're losing actual political points out here, right?
Yeah.
Based off of these gas prices and shit that the Saudis are doing with their gas monopolies. And yet still, nobody's going to come out and do shit to them, Nando. I just wanted to talk about that. Like, they're just brazenly being like, oh, yeah, y'all at war with Russia? Proxy war through Ukraine? We don't care. We're going to enter an alliance with them for oil and make as much money and kill you guys on the oil stuff. Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, we know we depend on you guys for weapons and military support and all of that in places like Yemen where we're running all kinds of fucked up wars and shit. Like, we don't care. It's just a
Yeah.
middle finger. Like, they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the most grimly funny things to happen. I mean, it's awful, obviously, but it's the just how much the United States gets played by geopolitics is just it's astounding to see. You know, the naivete of the United States is often kind of breathtaking, despite the fact that the United States has so much power, and basically violent apparatus in the international stage, and they still kind of just get played by these smaller, wilier countries. I mean, the Saudis clearly prefer Republicans. I mean, this is clearly like a way, an effort to just tank the Biden administration right before the midterms, where it looks like they were kind of on an upswing. Oil prices, everyone was talking about oil prices 6 months ago. They've actually been going down pretty steadily and dramatically. They were really high back in March, and they've been going down. And that has kind of eased. You don't hear about like, oh, look, I just went to the pump, and you don't hear about it as much as you did 6 months ago, and that's always good for the Democrats because they're the incumbents. And so they're clearly trying to tank the the midterms for the Democrats. But then also, just the whole sanctions project on the Russia war has been an absolute epic self-own. All they're getting, like, Russia is making more money than ever on fucking oil. And all they're doing is choking off Europe from energy, and like right when winter is coming, and they're just gonna fucking freeze to death because they have no natural gas from Russia. They have no oil from Russia. They can't fucking heat their houses. And they're paying, like we thought we were paying a lot at the pump. You have no idea what it was in Europe. I mean, it was crazy. It was like to fill up your gas tank, it was like an issue. Like I was just there in Spain, and my dad, like I was like at my dad's house, like I turned on the light in the kitchen to get something to drink or something, and then I left, the light on. It was night, and I don't know, like. So it was
Yeah,
kinda,
we just take it for
yeah,
granted with our energy
yeah,
prices.
yeah. We're just like I don't know. It's like sometimes I just leave the light in the kitchen on because I'm just sitting right there, and it's like nice to have the lights on at night. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? Like turn off the lights. And I was like, what? He's like, do you understand like what these energy bills are? And I'm like, no, I really don't. Like I actually don't. It's really an issue. And that was the whole sanctions project in response to the Russian invasion in Ukraine, which has been totally backfired. Like there's no evidence that it's really affecting Russia all that much. As long as they have the oil, like people are going to need oil. Someone's going to buy it. If they can keep raising prices, like they're gonna keep making money. It's all just kind of grim.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, what are these cats doing? Like all the things that they sell us about why they have to like keep their noses up the asses of certain countries. You wonder like, and I get it, like the Saudi lobbying arm out in Washington it's one of the most,
Crazy.
well funded and just well resourced lobbying arms that exist. Like nobody's stronger on the lobbying side than the Saudis are, but like goddamn, like how do you justify this shit to the American people? It's like we need to be spanking. Like how can Saudi be dictating terms to us? And also this is another thing where it's just like, yo, all that shit, that you guys are like complaining about. We want to do renewable energy and green energy and all. This is why. These little bitch ass countries getting to dictate terms to us. This is where your American exceptionalism needs to be kicking in. Like we shouldn't be relying on the Saudis for the fucking black sludge anymore, dude. Like we need to be putting ourselves in a position and investing, putting our money where our mouth is to signal to them like, yo, bro, we offer y'all. And guess what? We've been your biggest customer. Go fuck yourself. Like it'd be nice for them to try at least to effectively sell this to their citizens instead of just who knows what Brandon's gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just we're
like this is the ultimate argument for us getting on our own energy sources.
Of course.
Like developing our own. This is the ultimate. Like these people are giving us the middle finger. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, we're just helping them genocide the Yemenis while they're just fucking us on the oil. Yeah, I mean, obviously, in an ideal world, we would kick the fucking oil habit and move to renewables and all that shit and not need oil. We can do that if we wanted to, if we had the public investment to do it. Public will. Obviously, the oil and gas lobbies, prevent that. And then on the other side, the Saudi lobbies prevent that as well. So, like, but that there is a solution in front of us. It's just you got to move to renewables, and that requires. It's not gonna happen with private companies. The capital investment is way too high for private companies to ever invest enough in renewables to get us there. But it could happen with public investment, just like every single major technological advancement happened because of massive public investment. Whether it was the internet or fucking railroads or whatever. Like it's too much too risky for private interests. It needs the public sector, but we just don't.
The fucking CHIPS Act,
Chips Act.
Like Intel was never gonna do that. They like, yo, all of the fucking brain power goes into the software side. Like nobody wants to do these damn jobs. We're not gonna invest in it. The government has to come. And again, you can say it's a corporate giveaway, but it's like, bro, we have to be the ones to invest in it. Like it has to be public investment to get this ball rolling. Oftentimes, private actors can't see past like public good is not a thing they care about. They can't see past what's gonna affect their own bottom line. So they're just like, yo, nah, I'm good. Yeah. Like thank you, U.S. government, for investing in the CHIPS Act. All right, we can get this going.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just.
So much so fun, isn't it? Fun to follow politics. Is
the best.
It's so much fun. Anyway, yeah, that's our show for today. Again, I want to give a shout out to Erling Haaland, man. 5
Your
goals
boy.
in the last 2 matches. This guy, he's gonna score 70. This is absurd what this guy is doing this year. Just wanted to give a
Yeah.
quick shout out to Man City. Just what they did at the goddamn derby was just whoo. Oh,
Yeah.
embarrassing. It's just
Yeah. If
embarrassing
they don't
what's
win the
happening.
Champions League this year, you just
Yeah, you Pep, you
Guardiola
just
should just
gotta, you
retire.
really just gotta retire. We gotta get somebody
Yeah.
else in there if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because nobody's looked as dominant as them. Anyway, that's our show for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Nando, enjoy Mexico City. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you soon. I know you got a birthday coming up, so
Coming up. Yeah.
yeah. Talk to you soon, brother. Later, y'all.
Later.
Peace.